If you have been in Tesla's world for any time at all, you are used to Elon doing very controversial and commonly rather stupid things. The man is not stupid, but he is prone to having loose lips or speaking too quickly. Somebody said that I posted yesterday on X that possibly it would be a good idea for Elon to consider something I know he was taught as a young person, to always measure twice and then cut once, or think through what you're going to say before you actually say it. I've certainly been guilty in my life of sinking a ship with a loose lip. There's no doubt about that. On the other hand, I think way too much is being made of the comment yesterday. I did say that yesterday in my evening version of this show. Yeah, it was stupid to boost a quote from the gentleman, if you could call him a gentleman, that Elon boosted. Yeah, he did. He should have checked in to find out that guy was not a great guy. Problem is that nobody's talking about the truth or falsity of the issue that was being proposed. And I'm just going to continue to say that there is truth to what Elon said. And it's something that I think we as a society need to take a look at. You can't have racism against any race, and that includes white people. It's somehow based around this idea that anybody that's in power or seemingly in power or seemingly having outsized privilege against another group or compared to another group, that somehow it's okay to be racist against those who are the ones with the most power. Don't buy it. You can't buy it. I understand where Elon's coming from. He did it very badly. And this morning, the stock is apparently still suffering somewhat from it. I think that we can make an argument that a lot of the dip yesterday was also true for other auto stocks. It was also true for stocks that were associated with China, including Chinese auto stocks. So some of the dip yesterday was not due to Elon's comments, but some of it was. And based on this morning's numbers, at least the last time I looked, we're still seeing Tesla down more strongly than the NASDAQ is down this morning. Not huge, but more than. So yeah, I think we're still looking at some damage. Generally speaking, these kinds of damage situations that caused by Elon or others, I mean, it doesn't have to be Elon. Sometimes it's something like a fire in a Tesla vehicle. We've been down that road, right? So there's all kinds of things that can cause the problem. But usually the ones that are not very fundamentally important go away after a couple of days. And that's certainly what I'm expecting to be the case this time. This is Randy Kirk. If you like the morning commentaries, you can hit the like button. You can subscribe. You can hit notify. And I've got stuff. I've got so many programs, amazing programs coming up. It's mind-boggling. I've already this afternoon, or around 11 o'clock, 11:30, something like that, I'm going to be doing a very extensive look at the shift in markets, the market sentiment or the market narrative. Not Tesla. That's not today's show. Today's show is going to be market sentiment shift. I'm seeing a dramatic shift in the way that the market is thinking now, after we've gotten done with the CPI and PPI and the Fed decisions and all that. Now we're seeing a completely different mindset happening in the market. I'm going to be talking about that around noon today. We got Larry Goldberg on tonight to help take a look at the good news Friday night as we see what happens during the day today, and also what we see potentially coming up. Then we've got tomorrow, I believe anyway, that Brian Wang and I are going to get together later. We're going to talk about hybrids. We're going to talk about energy. Not just that, we're going to take a completely unique look, I think, at the Tesla utility business. What are the real numbers? What are the real potential numbers there? I don't even have that on any of my lists at this point, but I think we can make a strong case that Tesla is getting bigger and bigger into the utility business. And we're going to be covering that today. And it could be really substantial numbers. And then we also want to talk about the idea that you might be getting paid to let Tesla use the computer in your car. And that's just a whole nother story that popped up last week that could be another big money maker for you individually if you have a Tesla, and also for Tesla as a company. Okay, if you haven't bought your Cybertruck, you know it's time to buy your Cybertruck. Oh yeah, not that one, the one that you use to open bottles, the Cybertruck bottle opener, and then also join Patreon. All right, let's get into some meat here. As some of you may remember, a few weeks ago, I wrote an extensive post suggesting that Tesla could mount an amazing YouTube campaign for almost no money. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to create YouTube content. I've done, I don't know, something on the, well, I'm doing about 85 shows a month now with almost no help. I got a little bit of help, but almost 100% of it's done by me. You know, I'm getting, oh yeah, I guess I can make the announcement. It's almost going to be a year. It'll be a year and 2 weeks that I've been doing this, and I've had 4 million views. Thank you very much out there. Thank you for those 4 million views. And I'm shooting for 6 million next year, a 50% growth. Sounds like Tesla, right? Anyway, so I suggested that maybe Tesla should do YouTube videos, and that they could just mass produce them. I mean, day after day after day, they could crank these out. They would with a couple of 3 employees, the right employees, they could really do some beautiful work. I mean, look at some of the stuff that Lars Steinroeder does. His stuff is beautiful, and he does it, I think, 100% on his own. Anyway, so guess what? Tesla has been doing YouTube videos. They did one the other day that showed the safety of the car. And as I've mentioned on this channel before, the number one concern of car buyers is safety. And some people knocked that video the other day and saying, well, safety, no, that's the number one concern people have when they buy a car. And then the one that came out today, this one I think everybody tended to like a lot more. This one is saying the world's best-selling car at just $399 a month. I think that's a very good idea to promote that particular line of thinking. And anyway, so that one's out. That's 2 now in about 3 days. Maybe they've been watching my channel. Anyway, if they keep popping them out like this, it will be definitely almost exactly what I suggest that they do. All right, let's see. At first glance, oh yeah, I already talked about all that. Yeah, let's move on now. MarketWatch is reporting this morning that housing starts rose to 1.37 annual pace from 1.35 million in October. That's how many houses, that's how many houses would be built in an entire year if construction took place at the same rate every month. The data exceeded expectations on Wall Street, where they expected it to go up just 0.5 million, from 1.35, no, where they expected to be flat. In fact, it went up a couple 100,000. What is that? No, that's 20,000. Yeah, so it wasn't really a very big number, but it's the trend in the right direction, right? And it says here that both single-family construction and multifamily construction improved in October. And then it says, despite newly built homes becoming more popular among buyers amid an ongoing inventory shortage of existing home, builders are sensitive to rising rates. What do you mean sensitive to rising rates? Rates aren't rising anymore, and ramped up price cuts and other incentives in November. Anyway, I'm sorry. I should have read that first in more detail. None of that made any sense. What we have falling rates, and I'm suspecting that the builders are beginning to get it, that the rates are coming down. They're going to continue to go down, and there is a massive dearth, a massive shortfall of inventory available to buy, and they're going to find some opportunities. I mean, these builders need to build. They need, that's the business they're in, and they're going to start looking for opportunities where they can find them in order to supply this undersupply. So building permits also rose 1.1% to a 1.49 million rate, even higher than the actual starts. Shares of the Swedish automaker Volvo cars fell 14% on Friday. So you think Tesla had a problem yesterday. So China's Geely sold a small part of its stake at a deep discount. So what is going on with Geely? Why are they selling off? That was a little bit of a surprise. But again, there was a lot of selling of Chinese autos yesterday, kind of across the board. And, some significant buying that didn't seem to be related to the auto, to the U.S. General Motors and Ford being down strongly. By the way, General Motors and Stellantis have now settled, or their employees have voted and have agreed to the settlement on the UAW side, and that only leaves Ford, which has not finished their voting, I guess, so far. Speaking of Sweden, we're still seeing that the unions there are applying huge pressure with ever-increasing tactics to get Tesla to unionize the very few employees that it has in that country. I don't think that this strike action or this effort is impacting the stock at all or the fundamentals of Tesla, but it's grabbing headlines every single day as we're talking about employees who have been quoted as saying, we love our job here at Tesla. We're fine with what we're making. We're not interested in unionizing, but the unions are coming in and creating all this fuss. Gary Black notes this morning that Tesla usually does, if they're going to cut prices, they usually do that on Thursday night. And another Thursday has come and gone with no price cuts. So he sees that as a potential positive going forward. If we can get through the whole quarter without price cuts, that would ostensibly, and based on my understanding and my estimates, say that margins will go up because Tesla is always able to get some money out of the price of the cars, cutting their costs, as well as we've seen the commodities going down, especially battery prices. So that could be really, really good for margins in the fourth quarter, in addition to everybody expecting significant sales increases. Well, let's take a look at where the stocks are now. We have Tesla bouncing back. That's good. Let's take a look here. All right, so Tesla now is still down more than the market, but has recovered a tremendous amount of the big drop that it had. Here's the deal. Yes, when anything happens, I mean, when we have somebody die in an accident, it's supposedly on full self-driving, if we have a fire, if we have all these kind of things, all this FUD that comes out, all these opportunities that the FUDsters have, and for the haters, and for basically the mainstream media to grab onto something. And I mean, this thing yesterday got a massive go-to-war headline on Drudge. And we know Drudge is a hater. He hates Elon Musk and Tesla. And he used to be a conservative, and all of a sudden he flipped. There's nothing worse than somebody who's changed their stripes in terms of the way that they attack what they used to appreciate. So, but it was a go-to-war headline over this deal yesterday. So it's not that shocking that we would see some action in the stock as a result. But as people then pay attention and they dig in and they see what actually happened, especially those who are investors who want to make sure they're making wise investments, well, all of a sudden, the stock price is down a lot and the fundamentals of the company haven't changed that much. Let me take another look at what Elon actually said and what all the fuss is really about. Oh, maybe not. So what we have is Tesla down 1.49% right now, where the NASDAQ is down 0.18, S&P is down 0.02, and the Dow Jones basically almost in the green, down 0.01. Just turned into absolutely flat. So it turned green as I was watching it. So let me look at those in dollar numbers. We've got the Dow Jones up now 72 cents, NASDAQ down $22, and the S&P down 90 cents. So basically flat, with Tesla down $3.69. You've got the Magnificent Seven actually more down than up, and even like Microsoft is down $4.81, and Nvidia down $1.66. So there's other action happening in the Magnificent Seven that probably is also impacting Tesla this morning. We got the Cathie Woods completely mixed, very mixed, but heading toward the green. So what will happen on this Friday? I think we're in a bull. That's part of what I'm going to be talking about later today. So therefore, I think probably everything, including Tesla, is in the green by the end of the day. But you know me, I am an optimist. But that's my actual honest opinion, is that, yeah, we'll be back in the green before the end of the day. All right, let's see the other things. Let's see. Okay. I am going to skip that headline. There was a big headline breaking. That's why I paused for a minute. I wanted to see if it was important for me to talk about it. All right. 10-year Treasury yields are now up almost 1 basis point this morning, but still sitting at 4.453. You know, my thinking is we're going to go to 4.25, but we'll probably trade in a range of 4.25 to 4.5 for a while before we break below that 4.25. That's where I think we're going to eventually go. And so we've got the 2-month is also up about 1 basis point, and the 2-year is up, but about closer to 4 basis points. So the 2-year is spreading out even further. I noticed that this morning. We continue to have this inversion, but as I've explained before, I don't think the inversion at this point means anything like what it has in the past. I think it's a reflection of the change in the demographics of the country and where the money is. Okay, let's see here. Let me go to the rest of the rest of the financial news here. We have got the Bitcoin basically flat this morning. We've got the dollar down. It's had been going down a little bit every day, and it's starting to add up, but that's not surprising with the bonds dropping as much as they did. We've got gold down just a little bit at 1982. We have oil up just a little bit, up $1.41, but still sitting at $74. That's a very good number. And then finally, taking one last look at Tesla, see if it is continuing up. Yes, it's continuing up, now down only $2.55. But the market has slid off a little bit again. So the break toward the green is not continuing. Okay, so I've lost my Cybertruck. Here's one up here. I'll grab this one. I don't show this one very often up close. Is that cool or what? I mean, look at this is the camo. I think a lot of people are going to be wrapping their car in this camo look. I also think the flat black looks amazing. I think that a lot of people are going to do that. But we haven't made any flat black of these yet. Oh, by the way, as I'm showing this camo, that reminds me, I am out of camo until a week from Monday. So if you go ahead and place your order for camo. It's perfectly fine, but it won't ship until about a week from Monday. Plenty of metal ones are sterling stainless steel ones in stock. $25 for one, $45 for two, $65 for three, et cetera, all that information in the description below. You send the money to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. You can also join PayPal. You can join PayPal. Man, I got up a little earlier this morning. Okay, Patreon. You can join Patreon at the $10 level or the $5 level. If you join at the $10 level, and by the way, we've had a very big slowdown in folks joining Patreon this week. So if you've been thinking about joining Patreon, give me a little positive news this morning. I could use a couple of people joining Patreon today. $5 level, $10 level, 7-day free trial. Do the free trial. What the heck? What do you got to lose? All right. Yeah. And for goodness sake, hit subscribe and notify, because lots of amazing shows coming up. You don't want to miss today at noon. It will not be geeky. This is not marketing, and this is not geeky, not tons of numbers. No, this is the market sentiment, the market narrative. You're going to want to see that one for sure. I didn't even mention yesterday the amazing show that I did with Brad Ferguson with regard to what's happening at Lathrop. Huge. I'll put a quick card right up there on that one. You might want to go back and check it if you haven't already seen it. Final. Tesla has firmed up at $3 down. Firmed up at $3. Anyway, I should get out of here before I say something stupid, which I've definitely done in my life. It's been great talking to you.